This is Optimal Living Daily episode 560, the contribution chapter of the audiobook Essential Essays by the Minimalists by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus, and I'm Justin Malik. This is the podcast where I act as a personal narrator for you for free, and today features 4 posts, sort of. This is an excerpt from the Minimalists audiobook that I made for them, one of 3 audiobooks actually, and I'm going to play you the entire 11th chapter. It's a shorter chapter. And you can get this book or any one of their audiobooks for free with a trial of Audible. You can get a 30-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice, and you get to keep the book even if you cancel your trial and pay nothing. So for that, come by oldpodcast.com/free. For now, here's chapter 11 of the audiobook as we optimize your life. Chapter 11, Contribution. Adding value. Contributing to someone's life is one of the most important things you can do. It is the only way to get another person's unmitigated buy-in and is one of the few ways to get other people to believe in you. Obviously, this is important in all facets of life, in leadership positions, in friendships, while meeting and connecting with new people, at your job, with your family. If you want people to respect you, then you must add value to their lives. There are many ways one can add value. Create something someone can use. Inspire someone to take action. Lend a helping hand. Be a shoulder to cry on. Show someone how to do something. Show someone a better way. Provide a new perspective. Lead by example. Listen more. Give your full attention. Just be there for someone. Love them. It's important to contribute in an authentic way, one without an ulterior motive, genuine, helpful, and unassuming. We have all benefited from someone's giving nature. The 2 of us started our website because we were inspired and encouraged by the value created by several people. Those people added value to our lives, enough value that we were compelled to change and improve our lives. Thus, we find it important to add value to other people whenever we can, to pay it forward. Who adds value to your life? How do you add value to others? Ask not what you can get. Last night in Atlanta, amid the overwhelming tall buildings and sexy southern accents, someone asked us a question. Why are you doing this? The implicit question was, what do you plan on getting from dedicating a year of your lives to a 100-city free tour? It's strange. We don't look at it this way. We're not on the road for 10 months to get anything. Ours is a journey of giving. We do, however, get satisfaction from adding value to others' lives. But that's not all we get. We always get more whenever we give. It's cringeworthy whenever we see people who attempt to get without first giving, to take without contributing. Scientists have a name for this kind of organism, a parasite. The key to giving, then, is simple. Add value first without any expectation of receiving anything in return. Do this with enough frequency and you'll get way more than you give. As a result of our giving, people have given back to us immensely. Everything that remains reached the top 10 of all books on Amazon as of the date of this writing. Thank you. More than 75,000 people RSVP'd for our last tour. We've been featured all over the media, and more than 4 million people will read our words this year. It turns out when you add value to other people's lives, they're eager to share the message with their friends and family, to add value to their lives. Adding value is a basic human instinct. That's why we do this. We hope to serve others. Everything else is a wonderful bonus. Here, Have an Organ by Joshua Fields Millburn. There's usually a serpentine line snaked out the door at the Department of Motor Vehicles. At least that's always been my experience. Burnt into my memory are half a lifetime of Kafkaesque memories, nightmarish recollections of time spent waiting for assistance among the zombies and cobwebs at the DMV. Surprisingly, when I visited the DMV recently in Missoula, Montana, there was no line at all. It was a different world. I was helped right away. I didn't even have to take one of those flimsy paper numbers from the dispenser by the entrance. And to boot, the Missoula DMV employees were fast, fastidious, and friendly. I sat down and filled out the necessary forms to obtain a new driver's license. These forms seemed attenuated and easier to grasp than the bureaucratic stack I used to wrestle with back in Dayton, Ohio. It was too easy. Name, address, DOB, etc., etc. And then my pen stopped as it hovered over the final question. Do you want to be an organ donor? I paused at this simple question. I'd never considered becoming an organ donor, not for lack of caring, but because of sheer ignorance of the statistics. Toward the end of last year, though, my friend Amanda emailed me a similar question. How familiar are you with the organ transplant waiting list? Not at all, I responded. She informed me there's 117,000 people in the US alone who are waiting for organ transplants right now. 74,000 of them are active, which means that 74,000 people are in critical condition and unable to work, to play with their kids, to eat normally, to walk up a flight of stairs, to pick up a carton of milk at the grocery, you name it. Only about 20,000 of these people will actually receive a transplant in the next year, and it's not uncommon for a candidate to spend months in a hospital bed waiting for help. So consider this. One organ donor can save up to 18 lives, and all he or she has to do is check a box on a driver's license application. For the first time in my life, I checked the yes box on the form, and thus, I'm now an organ donor. Perhaps you'll consider becoming one too. Ryan and I often write about the value of uncovering happiness in life. A large part of that happiness involves contribution. Giving is living. But I'm also comforted to know even when I die, I will still be able to contribute to others. After I take my last breath, my body will be dead, but because of my choice, my decision to check the affirmative box of the DMV, someone else will live. Find more facts at the United Network for Organ Sharing, www.unos.org. Repaying intellectual debt. How does one repay an intellectual debt? We received this question in a kind, handwritten letter from a reader named Saravi. She wanted to know how to pay back the value we've added to her life. She wondered how she could repay us for sharing our thoughts, for sharing our journey, for helping her to see the option she'd been given wasn't the only option in life. Our answer? Don't pay it back. Pay it forward. There are many people who have helped the two of us become the men we are today. People whose words and ideas have shaped who we are. People whom will never be able to compensate for the value they've provided. The type of value that isn't labeled with a price tag. So instead of requiting those people, we choose to pay it forward. We go to great lengths to share our story, to document our myriad changes, so people can discover alternate paths toward happiness. With the exception of our books, the vast majority of what we write is free, which is our small way to contribute to the world. You see, some debts you can repay only by traversing the world with kindness, respect, and intentionality. Such truisms might sound trite or cliche, but they become self-evident once you consider the value already bestowed upon you and you begin to pay it forward. You just listened to Chapter 11 of the audiobook, Essential Essays by the Minimalists, by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus. Again, you can get this audiobook or any of their others, or really any audiobook really, for free and keep it for life if you try Audible with my link, oldpodcast.com/free. If you sign up for the trial, they'll give a little back to this show to help keep it running. And if you choose a book by the Minimalists, you'll be supporting them too, which is awesome. But again, you can pick any audiobook you want with your free 30-day trial. And if you cancel, no big deal. You get to keep the book. The link for that is oldpodcast.com/free. That should be easy to remember. And I have that link in the episode's description and at oldpodcast.com. I'll keep this ending short for you. Have a very happy Friday, and I'll catch you over the weekend with one last minimalism post from an author we don't hear very frequently here. So see you there, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.